So, as I explained, we each had our own title. If we'll introduce ourselves and tell you what title we each had.
So, of course, I'm Ben. I did Infinity Gauntlet this week.
I am Sal. I did Inferno, and I also did 2099 for some extra credit.
Ooh.
I'm Ethan, and I did Where Monsters Dwell, #1.
Oh. And I'm Tiffany, and I did Secret Wars Journal.
So one of the titles I did was I was going to say X-Men Inferno, but don't get it confused with Secret Wars Inferno #1. Written by Dennis Hopeless with art by Javier Garron.
Yes.
This was... There are like 6 battle worlds with... Or the whole thing's battle world. There are 6 realms of X-Men.
Yeah.
And here's what... This should be the tagline. There are over 6 different realms with the X-Men. Here is one of them.
So I'm guessing you weren't a fan.
I mean, like, alright, so here's the thing.
Look, I like the characters, but...
Yeah, like, it's fun to see Colossus again, but... Alright, so here's the breakdown.
My sister, you don't understand.
Ileana, my snowflake.
Oh.
So, here's the breakdown. Inferno is a story in which the X-Men are battling demons.
Cool.
The demons
Okay.
took over Manhattan, and they took...
The Demons Took Manhattan?
The demons took Manhattan.
I was
Much
gonna
like the
say,
Muppets.
Did they also
only-
take over a basketball team? Kind of like Space Jam? And then the humans have to play basketball?
No! In Inferno, the story is... Because, like in the old Inferno, like, demons come up from limbo and they want to take over, but in this one they do, and they take Manhattan, and it's stupid. And in this, they took Ileana Rasputin, Colossus's sister, and Colossus wants to go get her, but they have to, like, basically travel into hell and fight hordes of demons.
Why would they have to go to hell if...
Well, because
Hell
hell
has
has
already
come
arrived.
to Manhattan, and
Yeah.
now it is there. So it's like, because Manhattan, like, demon
It's
realm
the source.
Manhattan is cut off from their area. Their area is just, it's like they have 2 realms in one. One of them being a demonized Manhattan.
So it's like a razzle.
Yeah, first it's a candy, and then it's a gum. So...
What?
The area that they do have left that doesn't have demons in it, the X-Men, like, patrol and, like, police.
And like, watch that border.
Yeah. And Cyclops is in charge, and he lets Colossus every year try to go fight hell itself to get his sister back. And they, like, get a team together. Every year, like, there's an all-out assault, and they always fail. And, like, this is year 5 of the hopeless battle.
Okay.
I was going to ask, how many years have they gone?
5.
How many people die of
They
this?
lose, like, at least 2 to 5
So it's
X-Men.
just Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only they don't fight giant monsters, they fight little demons and, like, the devil. It's lame and stupid, and the art is, like,
Wait, which devil?
not, like, Mephisto, it's one of
Okay.
theirs.
Malbolgia.
No, I wish. That'd be cool. Because Marvel just sucks, and I'd love to see Colossus punch him in the face. But, like, this was not great. It's totally a skip, totally a pass. Don't waste your time. Inferno itself wasn't really worth the time. It was a neat idea. It killed some time between, events, but not worth it. Like, if you're looking to check out Inferno, just go back and find the old trade. But this is not like a nostalgia trip I want to go on.
Alright.
Just a waste. The other book I did was Secret Wars 2099, which was written by Peter David, who's an alum of Marvel. He's a long-time, big-time writer.
Not David Peterson.
No, not David Peterson. The art, of course, is by Will Sliney, or Sliney, not sure, never seen him before. It is... Okay, so the story, really quick, just a really quick rundown of 2099. It's just a day in the life in this world. It's very connected with Doomguard. It's a weird version of 2099, if you're familiar with 2099, which of course no one at this table is.
I know a little bit about it.
A little bit.
I did. I have talked about it a little bit. And the progenitor of 2099, Peter David, who created Spider-Man 2099 and like kind of set the stage for that whole universe, is writing this book. So you'd
That's
think it would be
cool.
really interesting, and it's not.
What?
Oh.
It's once again another tie-in that feels just very unessential, and I don't mean like contributory to like the overall Secret Wars plot, but moreover just it's a story that you feel like you might have seen a million times before. If you're a huge fan of 2099, like that universe, it's a really interesting window into like the future of 2099 because of who's in charge of Alchemax, and it's a world that was bereft of superheroes. They like idealized our time. and they called it like the Age of Heroes. Like there were no superheroes, and in fact, like the world that Peter David created with Spider-Man 2099 was really cool because like they started to worship Thor in that future. Like they took up the idea that like Norse mythology was like Christianity. And so people would, and they expected Thor to return one day.
Is that still going on in this world?
No,
They just let that go?
they just dropped
That's
that.
too
But I mean,
bad, 'cause
it
you have
might
the
come up.
Thor core.
I know you have the Thor core, and maybe it'll factor in because Peter David is a really big fan of his own continuity. So we might still see that. It's not referenced once in this title.
Oh.
But
Doom won't allow it.
Interestingly
because
enough-
it's like, no, they can't be the gods.
yeah, they can't.
It's me.
Exactly. No, they already have a god.
No Thor core to
and
that
they,
place.
and they know he exists. In this, it's cool to see that like Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, took what he learned when he was sent back to the present and his experiences with Spider-Man and so forth, back to 2099 with him and applied it to his position in this world.
That's cool.
Okay.
Like the Avengers are reformed, but they're not the Avengers you remember.
Right.
They're like them.
Right,
They're like
but
counterparts.
still.
2099 is like Blade Runner directed by Joel Schumacher.
Whoa.
Like that's what it looks
weird.
like. So it should be bright and colorful and have a lot of, but dark and gritty, and it should be really interesting visually, and it's just not. And so, unfortunately, we have the opportunity now to like really do some really cool digital art, or even just to do something interesting visually, but it's not. The story's kind of interesting though, but then again, I'm not pulled in. So if you want to see what happens in 2099, written by the architect himself, you know, it's a fun, interesting window and has very little to do with Secret Wars.
But it seems to be like if you're saying this is your first experience in 2099,
Oh, no.
this should be it.
This should not be your first experience in 2099. Not at all. So for me, it's a pass, but for someone who likes 2099, they might like it.
The book I read was Infinity Gauntlet, written by Dustin Weaver and Jerry Dukin, and art by Dustin Weaver. The story for me was a little bit lackluster. I don't understand how this is the Infinity Gauntlet universe, because at no point is the Infinity Gauntlet together so far. So it seems like this is Thanos' crusade to get the powers, the Infinity Gems, and put them in the Gauntlet.
You think it's pre-Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah,
Or is
because
it-
he doesn't have one yet.
My guess would have been that it's Thanos from the Life Raft from Secret Wars #2, and it's him being like, well, Doom can't be God, I'm God. But first I gotta go get my gems. And then him going across Battleworld getting his gems.
It seems like that's what he's doing most of the time.
Right. Well, that's... Surprisingly enough, it's not. Most of the stories that I've read that go from like Annihilation all the way down to like the Black Mirror or Infinity, no gems.
All right, well, do you imagine that Thanos would ever sort of skulk in the background of a comic and not be up front and present with people?
No, I do not.
Would you ever imagine that he was sort of hiding in a broken-down building, spying on people when he thought they had a power gem? Or one of the Infinity Stones?
No, I think he would just go get it.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't think this is that same Thanos who stepped off the life raft, who was like, I'm going to get shit done.
Yeah. This is a different Thanos.
This is a very different Thanos.
Okay.
Maybe it's the Thanos when we meet him in the story Infinity Gauntlet, where, like, he reaches into the well and he suddenly just has it all, like, maybe this is the story of how he gets there?
I guess? Okay.
I don't know.
Alright, cool.
But he does not have all the stones.
Gotcha.
He has, from what I can tell, one of them, and it looks very rough. It's not carved out. It's not in his gauntlet. From what I can tell, he doesn't have the gauntlet, although,
It's just
to be
candy,
fair,
isn't it?
I didn't look that close.
Right.
Where is
It's a big
it
word.
set? Like what planet or whatever?
Yeah, what realm
Yeah,
does it
what
have?
realm do you have?
I do not remember.
Okay.
It's just...
It's not anything you recognize.
No, it's nothing I recognize. It's just a world that was devastated by bugs after the Nova Corps weren't able to save.
Oh, the Annihilation Wave destroyed,
Oh, wait, it should be on here, right?
It should be New Xandar.
New Xandar.
There we
New
go.
Xandar. I knew I remembered Xandar for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
You follow this family who has lost their mother. The mother went and joined the Nova Corps. She was a part of it, and she was called away to defend the planet. But the planet got devastated by the Annihilation Wave, and they're now scavengers, trying to survive in a city that has nothing. So they're, finding cans of food and hoping that it's good. They're just trying to travel from one place to another and never having a fire because the bugs might see them.
Right.
It's a father, 2 daughters, and the grandfather. And their personalities are really fun. So I like them as characters, but the story that they're going through isn't all that great. They escape a quick attack at night when the father and the grandfather are arguing because they're having an argument over whether or not the mother is dead. Because the daughter is like, look, mom's dead. She's not coming back to us. And the other daughter is like, you can't say that. And then the father and the grandfather are arguing. And while they're arguing, the daughter and their dog, who is a great German Shepherd, Zigzag.
That dog's dead.
You can't make the dog a German Shepherd and not expect it to die.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why does New Xandar have German Shepherds?
Why do they have people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Good
weird.
point.
No, that's not. Because, like...
Well, maybe it's not a German Shepherd. It's just a dog.
Well, maybe
It's
it's-
a German
That
Shepherd.
kind of looks a little
It's a
bit...
Xandarian shepherd.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's a Zandorian herder.
Yes.
It's a Nova Shepherd.
Yeah.
They get attacked by bugs. They escape them, and eventually, one of the daughters escapes down a hole, thinking that she's safe. But instead, it turns out she's in a nesting pit.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. You're telling me they have been dealing with this annihilation wave, and she didn't know not to go in a big hole?
Small hole.
she fell in
But-
it, too.
She fell in it, or she went in it?
She fell.
Okay.
She was running and she
That's
fell.
fine. Grab
And
one out.
Because when you said she...
she went in, but the bug reached in after her, and it couldn't get her. So she's like, "Ha ha! You can't fit down here." And then she saw where she was, and she's like, "I'm dead.
Right.
I'm absolutely dead. There's nothing I can do."
But then Thanos shows up.
She even saw a dead Nova Corps member,
Oh!
like skeleton inside
And it's
the
her
armor.
mom.
Nice! Oh, she can put on the helmet.
And
I
then
was
she
hoping.
crawls inside her ribcage.
No,
Damn
but then one this one little larva bug like attacks her, and she freaks out and she starts wailing on it, and it's kind of impressive. Maybe a little unexpected for the reader, but you know what? I totally give it to her.
Right.
And inside a bug is one of the Power Stones.
Oh.
What? In a bug.
In a bug.
Maybe
Like a
that
bug ate it.
maybe that Nova Corps member had it.
Maybe it's Guardian Ant or something.
Oh no. But you'd think that the power of the stone would, destroy. Like, you can't handle the power.
Well,
You're just gonna-
Yeah, you could just
Yeah,
keep
what
them
stone
in.
it is.
Movie stones and comic book gems are very different.
Okay, well,
Like,
this is a gem.
you can just put it in a suitcase
This
and
is
carry it with
this
you.
is a rough, uncut.
Like
Right, oh yeah, it's not even
Okay.
forged, really.
Right.
But she finds it and she's like, "What's this?" And she's very confused. And she crawls out of the hole after killing that thing. And then these blasts just take out a big bug that were about to kill her. And guess what?
It's Thanos.
No,
It's her mom. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
It's her
Thanos
mom.
is her mom.
Thanos is her mom.
When
Hey,
does
daughter.
Thanos show up in this book?
Yeah, wait. I thought this
But
was-
is he like watching this whole thing? Like, yes,
He's
eat her.
making out with death.
Now, remember when I said that there was a character in the background?
Yeah.
At one point, when they're walking before the bugs attack, you see a shadowy figure, and it's a very small panel, and you can't make anything out.
Awesome.
And then it disappears immediately.
Okay.
And they're like, "What?" And she's like, "No, I don't know. It's probably nothing. We should just keep walking."
Right, that might be Thanos.
It's like, guess what? That was Thanos.
Okay, cool. Great, he's
Is that
doing
the
really
only
good.
time you see Thanos?
No,
Okay.
you see him again after the mom shows up,
Right.
and like she's in the Nova Corps regalia, and it's
Nice.
really badass. I love the design of the stuff that she was wearing. She's like, "I'm so sorry it took me so long, but I'm finally home. Everything's going to be okay."
Cool.
Then it cuts away to Thanos, who's wearing like this tattered cloak around him, like rags almost.
Yeah.
He's still wearing his armor,
But rags over
but
it.
rags over, being like, "No, the world is destroyed."
He's in disguise.
This is how
Yeah.
you dress in a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Exactly.
This is how I don't
He
get
showed
noticed.
up. He was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, that's him
Oh, this
being
is bad
incognitus.
Yeah.
Guess I gotta get my garbage to put on.
So he's just in some disheveled building, being like, "You couldn't be more wrong.
Oh.
Not everything will be okay." And he's holding the orange.
Oh, he's got
Infinity
another
Gem.
gem.
Oh,
And it's
another one.
the uncut one. I think she was holding the blue or the purple one. I think
Okay,
it's
cool.
purple.
And then he smushes a bug and he eats it because he's starving. In
He's a
this-
badass in the wasteland.
Yeah. So yeah, Thanos shows up twice and does nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like,
Oh, cool.
the story is mostly about this family or this chick.
But it
it's
drew
called,
me in.
Yeah.
But the story's called the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right, it's not about Thanos.
Not Thanos in the Infinity
Right.
Gauntlet.
No.
Just Infinity
So
Gauntlet.
technically, it's about exactly what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, you'd expect Thanos to be involved because he's on the fucking cover.
Now, coming up next, it's the Nova Corps mom versus Thanos.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Nice.
I did like it. It reminded me of, I almost want to say Afro Samurai, because some of the characters were very stringy and gangly.
Okay.
At least in one panel,
Interesting.
the father reminded me of one. But
I think that's just being emaciated.
Or it's like
Possibly.
stylized.
Yeah, the
No, it really
disturbing
could be.
stuff.
He was disheveled. He has a patch over his eye.
Oh,
He's just
okay.
like, oh, and I was like,
He doesn't
whoa.
need that patch. He just likes.
Yeah, he thinks it looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm in the wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually Nick Fury.
I don't need my perception.
It's Xandarian
Yeah.
and Nick Fury.
Not like it would help me survive. Or
Nah, no.
So-
That's what I got my Xandarian shepherd for.
So as much as the book didn't really tell me much about the Infinity Gems
No,
or the
right.
Infinity Gauntlet, it still hooked me, and I like it where it's going.
That's
So,
cool.
I'm on board.
One question for you.
Yeah.
Does the dog die?
Oh,
I'm not going to say it.
People want to know. There's websites devoted to this subject.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
they'll have to read the book.
That's right. Good call.
I had Where Monsters Dwell,
Nice.
written by Garth Ennis
Okay.
and drawn by Russ Braun.
I've never heard of
I
it.
don't
Like
know who that
Lloyd
is.
Braun?
Like Lloyd Braun. But Russ. Yeah.
Cool.
I have no idea what Where Monsters Dwell is.
Nope.
Well, I do now.
How about this?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
we
know where
know
it
that
came
it's
from.
not. It's not the book that Sal kept thinking it was.
Yes, I
Yeah.
thought it was the book with Frankencastle and Man Thing.
He's
I'm
like, Tiffany's reading that. I'm like, that's not this book.
but it's by Garth Ennis, so I was like, oh, you gotta read that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Because you want a Gauntlet, and I was like, oh, Ben likes Ennis though.
I had no idea. Yeah,
But I didn't even realize. But yeah, so
what
the hell?
It's a cool book. I like this book. Let me just say, I don't know what it's referencing, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like Indiana Jones in feel a little bit, in that it's pre-World War II. We've got a fighter pilot guy who's kind of a like a scammer, sort of, or like a not so nice person.
right, okay.
But
And there's
very full of himself. But also like harmless, kind of. You
Yeah.
know, we are introduced to him at the beginning when he is talking with this native woman who is very pregnant, and she's talking about how
no.
she's having a child out of wedlock and she'll be thrown out of the tribe and so forth. And he says, "Well, don't worry, I'm going to marry you, and it'll be okay." And then she's like, "Oh, thank goodness, our prayers are answered. We're going to be so happy." And as she's talking, he sneaks out and gets in his plane and flies away. That's how we're introduced to this character. So that's the kind of character he is.
Okay.
Then he lands in an airport, and he's talking with this guy, and he's having a drink, and we get a little bit of backstory, not a whole lot, about where he's from. We gather that he was in the war, I assume World War One. He's got a
Okay.
biplane.
Right.
Cool.
We established that he doesn't want to pay for the beer that he just drank, that he bought from this guy, and he's like, "Oh, you know I'm good for it. No, you have to pay me." "Oh, come on. I'll start a tab." There's no tabs. Like,
What's a tab?
you get the idea that he actually has no money,
Right.
or he would pay this guy.
Really? This stand-up guy?
Yeah. So then a woman shows up, and she's my favorite part of the book because she's like hilarious. Like, she's a British. They're all British, and she keeps using these like really British phrases and like ending sentences with exclamations that don't make any sense. Like corks. for example.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just more and more and more ludicrous as it goes along. He convinces her, or she's
Thinks
really
he
impressed
convinces
with
her?
him. She really thinks he's cool.
Oh.
She recognizes him. He's like an ace or
Okay.
something, and she needs a lift somewhere. She just wants directions to get to the train station. He's like, "Well, I have a plane. I'll just fly you where you
Right.
need to go."
I mean, maybe, you know.
Well, yeah, and she's married,
But he doesn't
He's
care
like,
about that.
hey, you're going to pay some way.
Right. Well, he offers, he needs her to pay him right now so he can
Pay the bear, yeah.
which he does.
Oh,
And
wow.
then she says, "Well, I suppose we'll have to bed down somewhere for the night on the way." And he's like, "Oh, yes, I know a few romantic places," which she doesn't react to at all. She's just like, "Okay, ha ha ha." And then as he's taking off, this like band of characters comes roaring in on horses after him, like, "I'll get you," and he's like, "Oh, time to go."
Well, another mob is looking for me.
Yeah, so he flies off. It's like incredibly cliched, but
Yes.
still fun.
Right.
They fly into a storm,
Oh.
and he starts freaking out, and she starts telling him what he needs to do.
Oh.
Like, don't you know what you're doing? This is ridiculous. Like, she starts firing the gun on the back of the car. Like, you get the impression that she was kind of pretending to not be with it and to be, like, fawning over him. Yes.
She's firing a gun at the storm?
Yeah, well, she fires the gun immediately after. So they come out of the storm,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're in the storm. You start to establish that she's intelligent.
I was like, if she knows what she's doing, she's not gonna
Yeah.
kill a thunderstorm with some bullets.
Then they come out of the storm, and there's pterodactyl.
I see.
That's when she starts firing the gun. Yeah. And that's really it. Like, pterodactyls attack the plane, and they have to land. And he's like, all right, where are you, and what's going on?
Yeah.
Because you're clearly not this, like, ditzy broad that you led me to believe, since you just, like...
Which means I'm not getting late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Because only idiot women will sleep with me.
And we end with a shot of him leaning against a tree, which turns
It's
out
not
to be a dinosaur leg. I don't know if, like, the world we start out in, though, is that world,
Right.
or if the world we're going to.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Ennis did as much research as you did about where monsters dwell. And I'm not telling tales out of school here. I know
Right.
that Garth Ennis does not give a crap
Right.
about what happened before.
You just
He's
want
telling
to tell
you
a story with dinosaurs.
he wants to tell a story with dinosaurs starring assholes.
Well, this is where my monsters dwell.
Yeah.
But you call it the same thing as this other one. Well, it's
Uh-huh.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, no, Marvel just said, like, hey, Garth, do you want to write a book? Yeah. It's called Where Monsters Dwell. Done.
They're supposed to be done. The monsters are dinosaurs.
Okay, I'm
No
writing
problem.
that. I've got it.
Yeah. The art is fine. It's not particularly exciting, but it's not bad. The coloring is kind of cool. It pops. It's fun to look at. Overall, I would cautiously recommend it.
As of right now, I couldn't tell you really what the difference is between Battleworld and Secret Wars Journal. Except one of my stories will continue in another book.
Oh.
Okay.
Which I was like, out of
Okay.
the 4 vignettes that I've read, one of them
We'll continue.
will continue. So,
Nice.
So I was like, okay. So, The Arrowhead takes place in King James, England, which is why I wanted to read this one, because
Right.
that's the 1602 universe,
Right.
which is the universe that I first read, or was introduced to Marvel through, and
Yep.
the universe I fell in love with. It focuses on this, I don't want to call it like a Robin Hood story, but it's a Robin Hood story about this character who's referred to as the Arrowhead, who has been robbing from the rich. I don't know where it goes after that,
Right, probably in her pocket.
but they're robbing from the rich. And one of the families they've robbed from, as you find out, like in an early panel, where people are gossiping because it's that time period, you know.
Yeah, people don't do that.
Wait, that's the time period where like you're not going to get stoned in the town square for gossiping. It's socially acceptable.
Oh, this is their TV.
Okay.
Is gossip. The Bishop family, who is a wealthy
Oh,
family,
Yep.
who their house.
Are they a wealthy family of bishops?
No, their last name is
It's
Bishop.
Bishop.
Bishop. It's Bishop.
That's cool. We're getting.
Is that? Do you mind if I tell my story? So the estate's ransacked, and it leaves poor Kate Bishop, or Kate of the Bishop family, without a home and essentially a peasant. For those who don't know, in this group, Kate Bishop is an incarnation of Hawkeye, essentially.
Yep. She was Hawkeye on the Young Avengers.
Yes.
Okay.
And then eventually she would become Hawkeye after Hawkeye quit and became Ronin.
Yeah, and in
Got it.
those stories, her family was also very wealthy. So I thought that was interesting that they tied that in.
Yeah.
She also wears a purple dress, which I was like,
Nice.
little connections I like.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, I mean, like, it's pretty obviously she's the Arrowhead.
Right.
She is going to seek out this orb, which is, like, really important. It's like the sheriff's orb. But it may not be the sheriff, because there's the sheriff, the Punisher sheriffs.
Really?
There are Punishers
Oh,
there too.
cool.
But they're dicks.
Right, like in Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
And they all have like little crossbow handguns.
So she has this plan, and she and her compatriots, Teddy.
Oh
And
no!
Billy?
Yay! The Young Avengers are in
Yeah, I
here.
know. Teddy is Hulkling,
Yes.
but he doesn't Hulk out. He's just a guy.
Well, he's actually a Skrull, so.
A Skrull. I'm sorry. He doesn't
Well, he
scroll out.
looks. He looks like a Hulk. It's.
I'm sorry. He doesn't scroll out. Right? And then Billy is Hexen. He's a magic user, and he does have magic in this.
Also a great game. 20 years ago.
You know, they're all friends. Not much is hinted at a relationship between the two.
Between
guys.
Wiccan and.
You mean because it's 1602?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, look, Hexen uses magic, which is already not okay
Right.
in this world.
They're
especially
different enough.
Especially in Doom's kingdom.
Yeah.
So they go they break into this cathedral. By the way, they don't really necessarily break in so much as they go there and they're like, oh, thank you, Miss Bishop, or like, Kate of the Bishop family for like helping us so much to build this cathedral. Sorry you have no money, like, because we're the church here. I don't know, like they're very much painting them in this kind of negative light, and then they break in from within.
I see.
Get up. They're gonna like steal all this like loot, and she's looking for this orb. She's like, no, they'd have it out. This thing's really important. And she finds it, and she opens it up, and inside is a note that says, look outside. She looks outside, and it's the Punisher sheriffs.
Oh.
And they have the whole place surrounded. And she's like, okay.
Yes, cool.
Trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's
Exactly.
it's
That's
Akbar.
That's what the note
If only
meant.
they had Akbar, they would have
known.
fallen into
They would
this.
have known after it happened.
Yeah.
What does that note mean? It's a trap!
But
We know.
Their plan to get out originally, before finding out it was a trap, was they were going to collect as much treasure as possible and then hide it under her dress and walk out.
Oh.
That is a great plan.
Yep.
And they're like, she can't carry that much. They're like, no, she can carry way more than you think. As long as it's not pointy, she'll be fine. It's like,
Cool.
Okay.
so she's like, here's what you do. I want you to get as much treasure as possible and get the hell out of here. Like, you'll have X amount of time because I'm going to give you distraction when I jump. And they're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And she just bursts out of this window and she shoots like a grappling hook arrow and she like flies down and she's just kicking ass through this like sea of sheriffs.
Awesome.
But they all know that she's Kate Bishop at this point.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they're like
The jig is up.
the jig is up. It's over.
Okay.
And then immediately she is arrested
Oh.
Yeah.
and she's going to go to
The stocks or
no to the shield. They're going to
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Why?
because she
She broke the law.
betrayed, like she broke the law against the god King Doom. That's his orb.
His
You know what I mean?
cathedral.
That's his orb?
That's his cathedral as well. Yeah, it is. It is.
He's
the
God.
cathedral
Too.
King Doom.
Oh, I really thought it was just like, that's within the realm of their land.
No, everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
every
everything
land
is-
the god King Doom has
Yeah,
its
God
presence there. So
Yeah, any references to Christianity would have been converted.
Into
God
Doomanity,
King
yeah.
Doom to Doom. Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't think breaking the law,
Yeah, like
stealing
they
from
should
the
have
church.
prisons in your own realm. You shouldn't just automatically
Well,
always
if
go.
you break a religious law and the religion is
That's the
doomed,
thing.
then
Yeah.
that's
No, I'm
probably
totally
Doom
down
does
with
care
that.
about that. That's fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would have expected real prisons too.
No, they probably do. If
Yeah.
she-
But that's like, if she didn't go after the orb.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
if she didn't
she
go
was
for
caught
the
stealing
church.
from a mansion or something.
Yeah.
But she breaks that freaking orb.
She breaks
breaks
the
She
orb?
did find the orb.
Oh, yeah, no, it was in the box with the
it was-
note.
I thought
Oh, I thought it was
the
just
note.
she was
the
like,
note.
She was like, "Oh, I found it."
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was also a nose. She
Oh.
broke it.
She throws it on the ground, it
Just-
explodes.
Just
So that's why she's going to the shield.
Yeah,
you
that's
broke
really
our
cool.
orb.
And then her story will be continued in the siege.
Oh, interesting.
I was like,
So this is what gets continued. That's nice that the universe continues.
this is the one.
Yeah, that's cool. Good.
By the way, the art's fun. It's sort of similar-ish to 16. Not really. Like, it's way more bright and colorful in my opinion. But, like, I liked it. It's fun. It looks nice. It's different.
Yeah.
But, having read 1602, 1602's art was also different.
Yeah.
So,
For being a Hawkeye story, it's not like the new Hawkeye art.
No, like where it's much more simplistic and
no.
like indie
Cool.
looking.
No. This is fun, Ben. I think you'll like it. You're gonna wish that this kept going. In particular, this, because as much as it is in the 1602 universe, it's not a lot. It's not.
It doesn't feel that.
It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like that. It's like the young 1602.
Right.
Cool 1602.
Yeah.
It's the late 16. It's like October 1602.
Yeah.
Here's what I thought was really interesting. This is cute. I don't know why this like tickled me pink, but like there's like a little note at the end that says like see more of Lady Kate in Siege No. 1, and then it's like noted by Sir Jake of Thomas. So it's like
That's fun.
it's adorable. I like the fact that she wears like leggings under her dress.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's like kicking and stuff like that, she thought about these things. I don't know. I'm like, that's practical. I like that. All right.
Yeah.
The next story. So far, I've liked every vignette I've read, and of this entire book, I liked 80% of this whole book.
Oh.
And then there's 20% of this book where I was like, okay.
So where do we go now?
Next, we're off to Egyptia.
What's that?
Egyptia. It's
Is there a knight in it?
Can I
Just
tell my story? If you'd like to, would you like to?
I didn't read it.
Yeah, I see what you did. I know Egyptia has ties to many different aspects of the Marvel Universe. I believe some of them are Apocalypse. since
Yes,
Apocalypse
Apocalypse
is
is-
an Egyptian god, technically.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not in this, so don't get excited. But mutants are in this.
Oh.
And mutants in this world are slaves.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're building, like, pyramids and things.
Oh.
All right. That would make them go fast.
And...
If only there were one mutant whose mutant ability was to build a pyramid.
Yeah. I just make pyramids.
There.
It's Pyramid Head.
Yeah. There.
He stabbed it with his great knife, and
Yeah.
he just...
It's like, I don't make pyramids, I just am one. I kill people.
It's like
I
Captain Planet
don't
in the
think-
trees. Pyramid, pyramid, pyramid. They're all pyramids.
I like your version where he's like, I'm not what you think I am.
Yeah.
That's not.
It's
That's not what I do. I just torment your nightmares.
Sorry. What is fun about this book is seeing mutants you know and care about or love or whatever in like these Egyptian forms.
Yeah.
So you got like Angel there.
Ah.
His wings, he's blue. I guess that's Archangel.
Oh, so it's like
Yeah.
Egyptian archangel.
Yeah, and
Does
like
one of them have like a dog head?
no,
Oh.
no, because they're slaves. They're
Is it
not-
Stargate? Tell me it's Stargate.
No, there's no Jafan, there's no Kree Jafan, there's no Zetnikitas, there's no
Good.
Chepai.
It's stupid.
I don't remember that from the movie.
Yeah.
And like Kitty Pryde is in charge of them, which I thought was kind of interesting since
He's in charge of the slaves?
well, she's in charge of the mutants rebellion essentially.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that makes a
We're
lot.
getting there.
Alright.
Kitty Pryde is there, and she's running the show essentially, which I thought was interesting because of Age of Apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
where she's also kind of like,
Against things.
well,
Yeah.
she's like an important player in the mutant
Right,
resistance,
uprising or whatever.
essentially. And she, again, very different looks. Colossus is there. Wolverine is there. In the background, we see, I think, like Mystique. Like you see, like you're like, oh, hey,
It's just all Easter eggs.
Nightcrawler's there.
I would assume he's very helpful. Yeah.
He can only move himself, not
Oh,
bricks.
right.
It's a
And
shame.
they are not, as a people, as slaves, whatever, they're not allowed to enter the darkness of night.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Hang with me here, guys. Because when you're reading this initially, you're like, all right, where's this going? I'm going to tell you where it's going in a little while.
Oh.
So they can't go...
To the sextillion. Because that was the last time you were just like, I'll tell you where they
I'll
go.
tell
Yeah.
It's a crossover.
Lady heads with legs. They go out to the darkness. They're everywhere.
Never mind! Take back that high
They
five.
went back. They built those pyramids 5 times as fast as they were before, I gotta tell you. It's a great tactic. So they want...
Scare tactic.
They intend on assassinating their ruler,
Like the Pharaoh.
essentially. Kind of. It's really their god when you get down to
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
right.
And in order to do so, Wolverine has made contact with someone who can help them, who will be by their side and can help them and aid them with this. So a contingent leaves because not like everyone's like wants this to happen, but they're all like, oh, I don't know if it's good. We've never gone to the darkness.
Right. And they're
they're
slaves.
They're like afraid of the night.
Okay.
And when they go out there, like it's Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler, Colossus, Wolverine, and that's it. It's the 4 of them. And they go off and like they're like, oh, it's so cold out here. Like, what's happening? And like,
It's the desert and it's nighttime.
It's gonna be chilly.
you don't know that.
Didn't you bring a jacket?
They've never been in the night.
Right.
Where do they sleep then?
Yeah. Where do they go?
In homes, like they don't leave.
They just can't leave their houses.
They just can't go outside at night.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just stay in their hovels. They're hovels,
Right.
they're not homes.
Okay.
And like they meet up with Wolverine's contact, who looks like a mummy but isn't. It's just that they're wearing a lot of like wrappings, and it's a night of the moon, also known as Moon Night,
Right.
because the god of this land is Khonshu, and they desire to kill Khonshu.
Wow.
So they met up
wow.
with Moon Knight?
Well, a Moon Knight.
Well, they encountered a moon knight.
There are many Moon Knights here, and this
Oh.
Moon Knight has given up his vow.
To serve Khonshu.
Yes, I can't.
Oh.
And I've already forgotten what his name is, but it's the main one,
Mark Spector.
Spectre, and they like that's it. He's Spectre.
That's
Okay.
cool.
And they're like, you said you're going to find someone to help us, and like Wolverine said, no, I said I was going to help you find someone who was going to get you close, and like they're like, we can't trust this guy, and
Right.
he's like, no, you can, because like blah blah blah.
Because I'm Moon Knight and I'm cool and you're gonna
Yeah.
like me.
He's like, Moonblades.
Right? Okay.
I got a moon copter.
How cool is this? We got Moon Knight and we got X-Men.
Yeah.
In this Egyptian time.
That should be really cool.
Hang on a second, because I'm about to put the brakes on.
Okay.
Because he goes, did you ever consider, because he's like freaking out for a minute, they're like, something's wrong, we gotta get the hell out
Who's
of here.
freaking out?
Yeah.
Moon Knight.
Oh.
Moon Knight's freaking out.
Oh.
Because he goes, did you ever consider that you weren't allowed into the darkness for your own good? And then he turns into a man-wolf.
That's awesome.
What?
Nice. They put Man-Wolf in there.
Wait, Man-Wolf's a character?
Man-wolf,
Yeah.
I had to look this up. I was like,
Really?
Yeah, he's got a gem that turns. It's John Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson's son.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Hey,
goes to the moon and he finds a moon gem and it turns him into a man-wolf.
Okay, right? Alright, so you're like,
There's a name for that. It's called a werewolf.
no,
Nah,
he's
but-
a man-wolf.
No, he's a
Well-
man-wolf.
But hang on, there's not just one man-wolf.
Wait, they're all...
The desert is filled with
There's
man-wolves.
Army of man-wolves.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Khonshu had told
Commands
them...
them?
No, Khonshu told them, like, the mutants to not go into the night because the man-wolves were there.
would eat them.
So they fight.
A bunch
The
of an army
four
of
of them
man-wolves.
fight the man-wolves.
That's
And it's
awesome.
not going well.
Okay.
I would
There's
imagine
a lot
not.
of
That's
them.
a lot of
Yeah.
man wolves.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of man... I mean, it's not that many. There's
How do they get so many moon rock gems?
Yeah.
well,
Do they have gems?
No.
All right. Well, then we skip the gem part.
It's more like it's more like it's a werewolf thing.
Yeah.
Right.
They're called
Because
man.
Khonshu is
and they're
the
white,
goddess
right?
of the moon. What?
And they're white.
No, they're red.
Well, man-wolf is white.
I know, but and I know that I did when I was looking this up. I was like, all right, what is man-wolf? I thought I remember
His
seeing
gem is red.
Right? No, in this they're more like brown.
So
But
they're
they're
like
specifically called man-wolf. I was
Right.
like, that's a really weird thing to put in, but
Yes.
it's a mix of it, I guess.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, they don't want, werewolf. Werewolf.
Yeah.
Pyramid.
And by the way, it is not going well.
Talking bad.
They Colossus has like 5 man wolves like coming out.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
like
man.
battling.
And he just goes and
Yeah,
blasts
yeah.
it all over.
And Wolverine's and they've got Nightcrawler, and there's a scene with Nightcrawler where like they've like gutted him,
Oh!
That's awesome.
and then Khonshu shows up, and in the background you see Nightcrawler and like his ribs, and, like,
Oh
they're
my
like
God.
eating him
Yeah.
What the
clearly, and Khonshu shows up, and like Kitty Pryde's like, it's you.
Like, I hate you.
And she's like,
Like
and
Khonshu was
Khonshu's
another
like,
person.
Khonshu's like, it's enough. And she's like, you wanted to kill me. What's up with that? She's like, because we don't want to be slaves. We want to be free. And blah blah blah. She's like, no, but don't you get it? What you're doing is beyond freedom. You are building a monument to like your god. You will live on forever through that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I was protecting you from the night.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we cut to the hovel again,
Mm-hmm.
where they show back up, and like all the mutants there are like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Because they all, like the 3 of them, because Nightcrawler's dead.
Right.
Wolverine and Colossus and Kitty Pryde have like the moon, like silver moon symbol, like over their faces, like in this
Oh.
kind of. They got face tattoos. It's always a mistake.
Well, now they're not going to be able to get jobs except for slaves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, all the other mutants are like, you were traitors. How could you do this? And they're like, no, like Khonshu, like, is great and awesome, and like she saved us. She was merciful, and like I think Archangel's like, that is a lie.
Yeah.
That is not true. And they're like, no, but she did show, like, she doesn't show mercy. And they're like, no, she did save us. And then the last page reveal is 3 of them are man wolves. And they're like, and Kitty Pryde's like, but there is no mercy. And like, the 3 of them are man, and they're just attacking the other mutants.
Oh,
and Colossus is like a Colossus man wolf.
Right.
So,
So it's like a big metal man.
so as you can imagine, like 80% of the book, I was
Weird.
like, cool. And then I was like, what happened?
It just goes completely off the rails.
That's deranged.
That
so
one was
stupid.
the end.
No, that's the end.
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
Killed
They
all
all
the-
get eaten
Yeah,
by fucking...
because they don't get eaten by man-wolves, right?
What the hell is the point of that?
Yeah, what a dumb story.
Wait, whoa, no, they're not man-wolves, they're werewolves.
Yes.
They got attacked, they turned into wolf people, they are werewolves.
No,
Man-wolf was created.
They made it. Yeah, Khonshu turned them to man-wolves.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're like all the man-wolves.
I don't know. You can't really. I can't tell if
Did
what Kitty
Khonshu-
Pryde is saying is that she saved them by turning them to man-wolves, or
No,
she
she's-
saved them and then they were still man-wolves.
She saved us to be man-wolves and attack you. But
Well,
here's the
she
thing.
saved them by not being eaten by man-wolves, by becoming man-wolves. Did Khonshu have a cool bird skull this time?
Oh yeah.
Good, okay, I like that.
Did Khonshu, if Khonshu can turn them into the man-wolves, clearly she has control over the man-wolves.
Right.
So it's like, why are you concerned about them going into the night? You're not protecting them, you control this other race of
because
people.
maybe the man-wolves can't like lift big boulders and shit.
Yeah.
Like mammals can't build pyramids.
No, they can't build pyramids.
The other
But,
thing
like,
I,
mutants can.
and I don't
and
really
she
think
needs
this is,
them to do that.
I don't really think this is anything, but to me, this guard who guarded the mutants would look like a sentinel a little bit.
He does
like
kind
an
of look like a
Egyptian
sentinel. That's kind of fun.
And like, I don't know if that was on purpose.
No,
but,
that
like,
was-
Because he's got abs.
Well, I was thinking it's more like it's up here. It's like the face. It's the
Yeah,
little
no, that's
crown
really
thing.
cool. I like that.
I was like, but that's why like this is really early on in the book. Like, look at how cool this looks.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
Right?
I'm totally
That's
on board.
such a shame.
And I
then
love
it
the
just-
idea of Moon Knight and the X-Men. That's fun.
Yeah, and look at him. He's like a moon mummy.
Oh, that's
Like,
awesome.
He looks badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
He's got
That's total-
bird skull knee pad thing.
That's fucking cool.
And then
Always.
it takes such a hard right turn.
Yeah. I think people would really dig
The-
it.
First one?
No, I think people, the Egyptia thing really, I was, really on board, and, I just was so not expecting what happened that, it really, I was like, it was jarring, right?
Yeah.
It's another example of, clearly a writer sat down and was like, I have a story to tell, and here it is, and
Yep.
that's the end of it. So I'm really trying to not let my personal bias of it's 1602, you should definitely get it because I love 1602 because that's the first story. But I think you're right. I think that people would dig this and it's another opportunity to get involved with short stories in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And to just try on some stuff. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
just see how it feels, that kind of thing.
It felt like a crazy ride, but there are a lot of neat bumps in it.
Yeah.
Look, I was on the edge of my seat for this.
Yeah,
I
right?
will
Like,
say.
I had to know what happened. That said, whatever.
And the art in the ridiculously long titled story that I've already forgot what it's called, We Are What We Don't Understand.
Right, we worship what we don't understand.
Yeah, is really cool. It's gritty. The coloring is it's a little off, but it's really, really cool.
That's like a party game. Because we worship what we don't understand. That's just we fear what we don't understand. And it's but what if we took the theme of X-Men being feared and made them into slaves? And then what if we put Moon Knight in it? That's okay. What's a crossover I haven't seen before?
Hang on.
Moon Knight.
Dart.
Yeah.
Dart.
Yeah,
Dart.
hang on.
X-Men.
That story.
And,
whatever that
and
is.
one villain.
Like a Family
But the
Guy
only thing
joke.
Yeah.
I find that to be less of a leap because of the tie of the X-Men to Apocalypse,
Yes.
who is an Egyptian god,
Right.
and Khonshu.
Right. Who is an Egyptian guy?
Yeah, I find this...
see these connections?
Yeah,
But there. Where's Doom in all this?
Yeah, but
It's a world that
Yeah.
worships Khonshu and not
no
Doom.
Doom whatsoever.
Good point.
Interesting.
because Khonshu is a baroness,
Oh.
as was established in Secret Wars number
But
2. I
then,
believe.
Oh, okay.
isn't Khonshu kind of going against the law of Doom by having these people
Worship her?
instead of Doom? If Doom knew,
He would throw her in the
Maybe
friggin'
like-
wall.
Maybe that's why she's like, look, you
people
guys
don't even know who
were
I
going to
am.
take me out.
Right.
And then Doom was going to find out that I was being worshipped and he's going to annihilate everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have the mutant man things.
Man wolves.
Man wolves. Man wolves.
There are-
Man things.
They're man things.
There's
they're
a man
man-
thing.
Yeah.
They have some man things. Some of those man wolves.
Anyway,
Alright.
weird recommendation.
Yeah, look, like I said, if you liked Battleworld, you might be into this. Again, it's a really good opportunity to, sample
see-
different sections
Yeah.
of the Marvel Universe
Okay.
and sample different writers and just overall books.
Yeah.
So,
alright.
It's like a grab bag or a sample size. It's like a whole bunch of.
you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's it's more like it's a mystery box of stuff. You don't know what
Yeah.
you're gonna get in it each time you get it.
Right.
But you're
It
like,
might be
all
really
right.
cool, or
Yeah.
it might be a whole bunch of crap. You never know.
Yeah.
Either way, the art for that Khonshu story was tight.
Yeah, it really was.
And they went for it.
They did go for
They
it.
did.
They
And-
went for it.
Oh, okay.
All right. I would love to see a Moon Knight cosplayer in.
Yes, I want to
Egyptia
see that. I want that statue
Yeah, right. It's so cool.
of that Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
totally cool.
Can't you just see me reading this?
Yes.
The whole. Oh.
What?
What?
What? Man wolves.
What?
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the X-Men meets the Mummy meets
werewolves.
werewolves. Yeah, the Wolfman.
But there's no Abbott and
And
Costello.
then a Dracula comes in.
Yeah, there was no vampire. Morbius the Living Vampire should have been in that.
That's
there weren't
why.
enough pages.
That's why I'm reading
true.
the
There's
monster
6
book
pages.
with the
I
actual-
guarantee, yes, with real monsters. Anyway, week 2 of the Secret Wars tie-ins took a, as you put it, hard right this week. It was a crazy ride. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And hey, you should check out those titles because if you support them, they'll make them into series. I guarantee you. If Old Man Logan outsells Secret Wars, they'll make that into an ongoing, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Just like if you buy the crap out of Secret War Journal 2, but not 3, they'll be like, oh, I guess they like something in 2. So
just-
support your
And
comics.
it's not always through, like, just buying them.
No, you gotta
tweet
pre-order.
them. Pre-order them or tweet at them. Tell them
Yes,
what you
tell
like.
your creators what you dug.
Not just the creators, Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Tell
especially.
Marvel.
It's true.
What'd you like?
It's like we got Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, that's how we got Spider-Gwen, and I bet we'll see Punisher, Dr. Punisher, at some point. There's only 4 of us, so please let us know what you want us to read next in the comment section down below, and we will make sure to make that happen. Whether it's a new book or a number 2, we'll be sure to try and meet your needs over here on ComicPOP. So thank you guys so much for watching this new show. It's
Do you
weird.
think it's Secret Wars because they have to keep any battles they have amongst each other, like
Probably.
secret from Doom?
From Doom, yeah. Although you'd think if Doom were God,
He'd know anyway.
yeah, there's no secrets.
But he's not God.
No, it's not.
We know that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another war going on.
A secret war?
There better be.
And Colossus is like, I have so much game.
Yeah.
Dunk.
Not in my house.
3 points.
From downtown.
I am on fire. But he insists on sharing the points with everybody.